everyone, welcome back. Are you ready for another deep dive into this crazy 2024 election?
Always.
It's October already, we're on the home stretch now, and things are really heating up.
Definitely heating up.
We've been digging into some recent Fox News coverage, and let me tell you, there are some really interesting things happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like a surprising shift in the polls, and the VP making some, well, let's just say strategic moves.
Interesting.
It is interesting. So to kick things off, the big news this week, a Fox News poll showing Trump taking the national lead.
Yeah, it was a pretty big shift.
Big enough that Bill Hammer spent a good chunk of America's newsroom really breaking it down, even talking about the different ways it could play out in the Electoral College.
Which is a good reminder that, national polls are interesting, but...
It all comes down to the Electoral College.
Exactly.
Those individual state races, that's where the real battles are won and lost.
Speaking of battles, Kamala Harris has been making some waves with the recent interview. Everybody's talking about it.
Oh, yeah, that interview with Bret Baier on Special Report.
On Fox News, no less.
Right, which is unusual in itself. You don't often see a Democrat, let alone a sitting vice president, going on Fox News during an election.
It's true.
It's a bold move.
Definitely got people's attention.
Yeah, headlines everywhere, but it's not just who she talked to, it's what she talked about.
She was laser focused on those battleground states.
The battlegrounds.
And get this, the same Fox News poll that had Trump ahead nationally also showed Harris leading in some of those very same states.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. It's like two different races going on, a
Right.
national race, and then these little battles for the Electoral College.
Exactly.
Did they say which states she was ahead in?
They did.
Okay.
But I kind of like leaving our listeners hanging a little,
Oh, a little cliffhanger.
It's like, go do your own deep dive, see the whole picture.
You got me wanting to know more.
Well.
I think I know what my next deep dive is going to be about. But okay, back to Harris's interview. What really stuck out to you? Besides, obviously, her going on Fox News in the first place.
What, she handled some tough questions really well,
Mm-hmm.
very smoothly. Like it was all very intentional.
An intentional how?
Like she was speaking directly to certain voters in those key states, the ones who might still be undecided.
Trying to win them over.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting about this kind of media appearance.
Yeah.
It's not always about looking good in the headlines the next day.
Yeah.
It's about, making people think twice, maybe see things a little differently, making yourself relatable, even to voters who wouldn't normally give you the time of day.
It's all about knowing your audience, right?
Absolutely.
Which actually reminds me of Trump's town hall in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about crime, the economy, transgender athletes and women's sports. Do you think that was a smart move, focusing on those issues, especially in a state like Georgia, where the races are always so close? It's like he knew exactly who he was talking to,
Right.
trying to connect with a very specific group of people.
Absolutely. It's classic micro-targeting. You tailor your message, you tailor your whole platform to a very specific group of voters in a very specific place.
Georgia, in this case.
Exactly. And when you're talking about states like Georgia, where the margins are so incredibly thin,
Every vote counts.
every single vote. So yeah, it could be a very smart strategy.
It really is like a game of chess, isn't it?
It really is.
Trying to stay one step ahead, appeal to the right voters at the right time, say the right things.
And the fact that we're seeing it all play out right in front of us in the polls, in these interviews, at these campaign events,
It's kind of exciting.
it's fascinating.
So where does this leave us? Trump's ahead nationally, but Harris is ahead in some crucial battleground states.
Yeah.
Both of them are giving these very carefully calculated interviews, targeting their messages very deliberately.
Yeah. I think there's one thing we can say for sure.
It's that.
It's going to be a close one
Definitely close.
and probably pretty unpredictable.
You never know what's going to happen.
Every poll, every interview, every single campaign stop, it all matters.
It all adds up.
And for the voters out there, staying informed, paying attention, it's more important than ever.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that about wraps it up for us.
Another deep dive in the books.
Thanks for joining us as we try to keep up with this wild 2024 election.
It's a wild one.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next episode. And in the meantime,
Stay curious.
always stay curious.